Hey everybody, it's Saturday morning and I just remembered I need to go down the street and collect up my minnow trap. I don't know if anything's going to be in it or not, but we're supposed to get some heavy rains today and possible flooding. It's been raining all night, so I really want to get down there and get the trap collected up, see if anything is in it. If nothing else, just get the trap out of the potentially flooding stream. At any rate, need to do a water change here on the native tank. This is my new native tank that my waterfall flows into. And the water itself is clean in the sense of nitrates. In fact, this tank still has no nitrates in it whatsoever, and that largely has to do with all of the plants I have attached to the waterfall that have access to atmospheric CO2 and can therefore grow much faster than aquatic plants, and they absorb a lot more nutrients out of the water. I also have a very lightly stocked tank here, and the result is I'm getting no buildup of nitrates at all. I am getting an enormous buildup of tannins, however. This has only been about 36 hours since I've done a water change on this tank, and it's already so tea-stained you can't even see out the back of it. Now, I also don't have any other lights on in the room, so there's nothing to really see on the other side of the tank. But we're going to do a simple before and after. Chatted on here for a few moments just to give you a good solid look at what the tank looks like now. But consider this part your before. Alright, and there's your after. Now we're probably going to get a glimpse of the new fish I've put in there. So we'll wait until it makes an appearance before we have a chat about it. It should be any moment now. It's off to the right hand side of the screen, so you'll see it enter from there. Not a lot to talk about, just removed a bunch of water and a bunch of tannins. At one point I noticed that the water was flowing very slowly out of my hose, and I thought that it was a blockage of some, plant material or something had gotten in there. So unfortunately I picked up the gravel vac end of the hose out of the tank and blew hard into it to try to blow the blockage through. There's a little tiny glimpse of the fish. I don't know if you could identify it with that or not, but we'll see in a moment. And after blowing into the gravel vac end of it, it stopped altogether. And I wound up discovering that the sucker fish I had put in there the other day, there you go everybody, there's the first good solid look at my Opaline Gourami that I've put in this tank. I've wanted a specimen fish in this tank. I wanted to try to get a sunfish, something that wasn't going to be really aggressive, like one of those green sunfish. I was trying to get like a simple bluegill or something like that, but it's just too late in the year. So I'm not a stickler for biotope tanks, and this doesn't have to be perfectly a native tank. And I've also been wanting an Opaline Gourami, and I don't really have a tank to put it in. And so between those two sort of issues I've been having, I solved that problem by just putting the Opaline Gourami in this tank. So it'll be a nice, pretty, colorful, interesting fish swimming around amongst all of the native fish that are eventually going to go in here, I hope. So while I was doing the water change, I noticed that the water had slowed down significantly. And when I went to blow into the funnel thing to blow the blockage out, it stopped altogether, and so I really clogged it up at that point. And when I looked into the plastic to find out what was going on, I found out that it was that white suckerfish that I had caught the other day and put in the tank head first down in there, and I just basically blew it in to the point where it completely clogged the suction tube. And so, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done it this way. I should have gone to the other end of the tube and blown in that end and blown him backwards, but I didn't. I just gave it a good shake, and it did knock him loose, and he did shake out into the tank, and I have actually seen it swimming around since then. It's showing no signs of distress, no markings on it, or anything else. I was actually kind of hoping we'd get a look at it swimming around during this video, but again, with me standing right here in front of the tank, with my voice booming and everything, is probably not conducive to that fish coming out and about. But I'm getting a little bit of unusual behavior with that fish in the sense that it seems to be swimming around in the water column rather than just kind of hanging out on the bottom like the other ones that I have do. And it's clearly just by the way it's built, you can see that it's meant to be on the bottom of the tank. It's definitely a bottom-dwelling fish. Its mouth faces downwards. All its fins are designed to be lying flat on the bottom. So it's unusual to see it swimming around the water column, but it also does not seem like it's under any distress at all. It doesn't seem like it's trying to get out of the tank. It's not swimming funny. Its color looks good. You know, I would say its behavior is normal if it wasn't for the fact that it normally would be lying on the bottom of the tank. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. And we are going to talk more about the total dissolved solids and tannins and nitrates and nitrate shock and all that kind of stuff in regards to this tank here in the very near future. But I got to get my day started. Just wanted to do a simple before and after. So that turned into a little more of a video than I expected, but that's par for the course for me. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed. And don't forget, of course, this one here is my Waterfall Tank. So thanks again. I'll see you on the next one.